Hey, what's up guys, it's Theo from Concept. So today we are going to use the Smudge tool in Adobe Photoshop to create this awesome art. Let's just get started. Welcome to Concept. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up our application. For this job, I'm using Photoshop CC 2019 and I already have my image in here. So before we do any form of adjustment to this, go ahead and create a duplicate. So Ctrl J or just click and drag this layer onto the new layer icon, which is right here, and just let go. So I have two images right now, so I'm just going to turn off the eyeball so that I don't work with the original image. So go into filter, go into stylize and look for the oil paint. Now for the oil paint, usually I crank everything up to max, but let's just see what works best for this image. Alright, so if I go ahead and look at this, I think the stylization about 10 is okay. Let's make it 5. I don't want everything to be too huge or saturated for this image, so let's reduce everything. The scale about 0.5. I'm just going to set everything to 5555 from here, and the angle I'm just going to leave it at 0 degrees. I highly recommend that you don't increase the shine. 1.3 is okay, but I'm still going to reduce mine to 1 and just hit on OK. This is what we have. This is the before and this is the after. So what we are going to do is basically grab the Smudge tool. I wish there was a shortcut for this, but I don't know of any, so let's just work with that for now. And I'll just reduce the size using the left and the right brackets keys on my keyboard. So anytime we just have it over the image like this, then you just brush over it like so. So we are just going to be using the Smudge tool throughout this entire tutorial. Now mind you, just try to follow the direction of the image. For this area, if I want to brush over the lips, I shouldn't be moving in this direction. That's going to spoil the image. I have to actually be moving downwards and upwards like so. So just follow the direction of whatever image you are using. And as always, you can also use the arrow keys or just right click and change the size so that I don't use a huge brush like this and work on the eyebrows when I don't even have to. So these are the couple of areas I'm going to work with. Everywhere I see the skin, the nose without affecting the outlines of the nose, and the mouth without affecting the outlines of the mouth. So let me just speed this up and I'll catch you in a second. Alright, so this is what we have right now. You can also just create a selection around your subject even before you begin with the oil paint filter, but I have a nice background and I'm just going to keep it as that. So I think this is looking okay. So the next thing is to create a new layer, so I'll just click on new layer right here, go to edit up here, go to fill. You can also use Shift F5 and change the content to 50% gray. What we are going to be doing is just adding in some dodge and burn to make it pop the way we want it. So you can see that we have the image and we have a gray layer on top of it. So we'll go to the blend mode and change it to overlay. Now this is going to more or less like hide it. It's still there, but it's not as visible as before. So we are going to create a duplicate of this, Ctrl J. The one at the top is going to be called the dodge, and the bottom one I'm going to call it burn. I usually leave the dark ones at the bottom. This is just something I do. It's not compulsory, you have to do it. So you go to the burn tool, the key is O on your keyboard, and I'll just select that one, and I'll select a reasonable size, about 200. Set this to fill screen, and we'll be brushing over the dark portions. So every part you see that is very dark, you just use the brush tool to brush over that area. So this place is very dark, I'll just brush in like that. Now you can see my exposure is set to 50. I'm keeping it this way so that I'll be able to see those places that I am burning, and later on I can reduce the opacity to something quite nice. So instead of just reducing it to like 10, which I will not be able to see what I'm doing, I'll just make it very huge. Then later on I just reduce the opacity of the image. So that is what I'm just going to be doing for now. I'm just going to be increasing and decreasing the size and brushing over the dark areas of this image like so. Now it doesn't have to be just the skin, the clothing and other parts can also be included. So now that I'm done, I can just go ahead and set the opacity to about 50% if I think that works fine for me, or probably 20% or probably 30%. So this is the before and this is the after. You can see that from here. For the dodge, we'll still go into that same area. This time around, we'll be selecting the dodge tool. It's also O on your keyboard, and I'll also be brightening up those areas. So reduce the size to about 100 pixel. Then I'll just brush over the highlights, which is here and somewhere around the eyes, somewhere around the forehead, like so. This time I'll just increase the size a little bit, and I'll have it here like so, just beneath the chin and on the lips. Then just on the skin right here, somewhere around here and somewhere around there. Now, if I was doing this for a client, obviously I'll take my time to do this, but this is a tutorial. I don't want to keep you here for long, so let's just stick with this. And I'll also reduce the opacity to about 30, so I think that is okay. Now let's group this and so that I can show you the before and after. You can see that the image is popping a little bit more right now. And I'm going to also, you know what, let's call this effect. Oh, I can't spell today. And I'm going to add in a curves adjustment. So go to the adjustment panel, click on curves. So we are going to create an S curve like so. This is going to go up and this is going to come down. And this is looking quite disappointing at the moment. That's because the opacity is set way high, and I'll reduce the opacity also. And now you can see we have this. I think the opacity is still too much. I think 10 should be okay, and the image is popping like so. There are other features you can add, like an overlay, which I don't usually do this in this kind of designs, but I'm going to pick one from here. So for the dress, you can see that we have pink and we have blue, and those are the colors I've selected here. So I'll go to the adjustment panel, I'll click on gradient, I'll click on this square or rectangle right here and select the first preset, which is foreground to background. That's the foreground color to the background color, and I'll click on OK and OK. For the meantime, this is what I'm going to do. We'll come back to that later. And I'll just change the blend mode to screen or soft light, depending on how it looks when I apply it. So this is how soft light looks. Hard light is more like this, and I think I'll go with screen, but screen is a little bit too bright. So let's just work with any of the other lighting conditions. Now hard light is calling out to me, so I think I'll just be using hard light in this case. I'll double click and go back to where I was initially, and I'll double click on this color. It is too dark, so what I'll do is I'll send it over to the lighter area so that the image looks like this, and I'll click on OK. For the blue, I'm a little bit concerned about the colors, so I'll also increase it just like this, and we are getting quite the same effect as applying the screen option. So setting this to an angle of about 45 and just making it look like this is okay for me. You can also reverse it if you want, but I'm just going to keep mine as that, and I'll click on OK. Obviously I'm not going to make it as bright as this, so again, reduce the opacity to about 50 or 30, and this is what the image looks like now. So basically that is how to create a simple art like this one in Adobe Photoshop. Alright, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to watch more of our videos, hit that subscribe button, and as always, don't forget to share with your family and friends. This is Theo from Concepts, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.